So I found this old pry bar a while back, buried out in my property. I poked it a couple of times to see if it was dead. It didn't move, so I brought it out into the shop to see if we can get it to pry again. This thing is really crusty. All the metal is covered in pitting. I'm not sure how much we'll be able to clean this up. It looks like there might be some markings on it over here, but I can't make out what any of it says. Otherwise, it doesn't seem to be missing any parts, so we might be able to get it to pry again. The first step will be to take it to the wire wheel and see what we can clean off. This took a lot longer than I expected, and I had to wear a dust mask the whole time because of all the dirt coming off of it. In the end, I got it cleaned up. I mean, it looks better than before, but it still looks pretty crappy. At least now we can start to make out those markings on it. I can make out a man over here, and a number something over here. I thought at first this might be a craftsman, but then I saw over here the faint remnants of a Stanley logo. So this was a Stanley Handyman series pry bar originally, but we still got a ways to go before we can see if this thing will pry. We're going to have to dust off the heavy artillery, the flap disc. I started out here with I think an 80 grit. That helped, but it wasn't quite enough. Ended up having to go down to 60 grit. I don't want to take away too much metal, just smooth out the surface a bit so it doesn't look so crappy. And yes, I was careful going over the area with the markings on it. He ruined that antique, I tell you what, he done ground off all the markings. I did no such thing. This thing was already ruined from sitting buried in the ground for 40 years. It'll be fine. So here it is after grinding. There's still so many deep pits in the metal, we're never going to be able to get rid of those. Not without grinding it down to half its size. But you can actually make out the Stanley marking a little bit easier now. I also found what might be another set of markings on the other side. It looks like it might say Made in USA here, but it's pretty hard to make out. So now we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with this. With all this pitting, it's never gonna look like new. I could slather Bondo all over it to fill in the pits, but I want to be able to actually use this tool afterwards. So I'm going to leave all the pitting as is, and we'll just throw a coat of paint over it. I'm thinking, if you take a look at a modern Stanley pry bar, it's flat black, but with a yellow area on the curved part. So I think that's what we're going to do here. We'll give it the paint scheme of a modern Stanley. Why not? For paint, I'm going to go with this VHT epoxy paint. This stuff can go on without any primer, and it's pretty durable. I painted most of the undercarriage on my truck with this, and it's held up pretty well. It also dries really fast. It only takes like 1 or 2 beers, and it's dry to the touch. Yeah, I put 2 coats on that side, and it's already dry to the touch. So now I can flip it over, and we'll paint the other side. Alright, now that is looking much better. I think the epoxy paint might have filled in some of the pits a little, but there's still a ton of pitting on it. I mean, look at that. But what do you expect from something that was buried in the ground for 30-40 years? Anyway, we're not ready to see if it can pry just yet. We're still going to do that yellow stripe on the end. I think right here is a good spot for the stripe to start. I'll just wrap the masking tape around, making sure it lines up, and then I'll fold the end over here so it'll be easier to lift off the tape after painting. Then we'll make sure we got a good seal around the edges. For the rest of it, I think we'll just brown bag it. Yeah, that'll work. I'm going with Cub Cadet Yellow here. That was the only yellow paint I had. I'm going to do 3 light coats to make sure we get good coverage over the black. Now this paint, it's going to take a little longer to dry. We want to remove the masking tape before the paint has fully dried, while it's still a little tacky. That will ensure that we get a good paint line. And this is why I folded over that edge of the tape earlier, to give myself a little pull tab to grab onto and make it easier to pull off the tape. Yeah, that came out good. Look at that paint line, perfect. Well, except for that one little spot there where some paint got into a pit, but that's fine, nobody'll notice that. Here's your before and after shots. This thing is 100% better looking than it was before. So now I guess the only thing left is to see if it can still pry. So I got a nail set up over here. I think I'm going to start with the flat part to get it started, and then switch over to the curved part. Oh, actually that was way too easy. Let's try this again with a longer nail. Alright, we got a longer nail. I think I poked this one all the way through into my workbench. Oh well. Same drill, we'll start it with the flat part. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Tools like these are great beginner projects if you want to get into restorations. I mean, you can't really screw it up any worse than it was before. And we learned that being buried in the dirt for 40 plus years does not affect its ability to pry. We'll just put this guy back here and I'll check on it again in another 40 years, and we'll see if it can still pry. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure you're subscribed for more tool restoration videos. See you later. Bye.